Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, October 12th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, and tea. But most importantly, knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I am most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there. There's also show notes and links to things that I will be talking about. Hopefully, I will not forget any of them. If I do, feel free to send me a message, ask me what it is, because I forgot to put it in the show notes. Or you could just send me a message to say hello. I do like getting messages. It's very nice. We have fun stuff to talk about this week, everybody. We've got fun stuff. I have my very warm tea. We're at a different angle because, fun fact, right here is a mattress, which is why the sound is much different than it normally is, because it is absorbing all the sound. It's kind of weird, if I'm being completely honest. Not that that matters. It's not a bad thing. But yes, there is a mattress like right there. We have knitting and knitting. Did a little bit of baking last week. I plan to make more baking adventures this coming week. There's also more giveaway information, or not giveaway information, but just a reminder of the current giveaway. And yeah, so let's get into that, because this tea is hot, and I keep wanting to pick things up to show them to you, but this is the intro, and we don't do that in the intro. We just overview in the intro, you know. Anyway, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, an animal to snuggle, something to craft upon, laundry to fold, maybe you're working out, maybe you're making dinner, I don't know what you're doing. You could be doing none of the above, all of the above. If you're doing all of the above at the same time, more power to you. That sounds like quite the adventure. Kind of crazy. But anyway, whatever floats your boat. And you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So, the reason why there is a mattress here is because we're at a different angle, and because the window is directly behind me, because if I was like, I've angled you so you're not looking directly into the window, because that just throws all the lighting off, because it just doesn't work well. We have a new mattress. It's really wonderful. Been sleeping so much better. It's been really amazing. Yay for new mattresses. Had this mattress for a long time. We're happy to have a new one. Giveaway information. So last week I got to announce the giveaway that I am hosting with a stitch marker pack from Jen of Hand Stitch Life that she kindly donated to be a giveaway prize. And this is the set that you will be winning. On the other side of this little thing is a set of stitch markers, of just beaded stitch markers, which are very, very beautiful. They're rose goldy colors, gorgeous. And so if you have not seen last week's episode, you won't know the details. I will refresh your memory, but there are things you must do. And number one is that you must follow Jen, Hand Stitch Life, on Instagram. Number two, you must be subscribed to this podcast, the Catnip Podcast. That is very important because this is the podcast. And number three, you must comment on last week's episode, so episode 179, what your favorite fall activity is. So far, there have been so many fun things that people have shared. A lot of people, excuse me, I have not turned my phone on silent. A lot of people love looking at leaves changing and just raking leaves, jumping in leaves, which I really love. I grew up doing that, growing up in Oklahoma. The leaves change. It is a normal happenstance. I remember raking leaves. I remember jumping in leaves. I remember jumping in wet, slimy leaves. But that doesn't really happen in Houston. In some areas of Houston, the leaves do change, but they're very few and far between. Definitely not in the area that we live. And so I do miss that. So reading those comments of people enjoying the beautiful fall foliage, I don't know, the leaves, made me remember my fond memories of the leaves. Lots of pumpkin-y things, lots of knitting and crafting. So just a lot of fun, lots of gardening as well, which I thought was really cool. Preparing their gardens for the fall and winter veggies. I thought that was really neat. So thank you so much to everybody who's entered so far. I have really enjoyed reading all your comments. And yeah, so if you have not entered already, be sure to do that. Follow Jen, subscribe to me, comment on last week's episode, your favorite fall activity, and you'll be entered to win. The giveaway will be closing next Monday, this coming Monday, so not today, but next Monday. I believe that is the 19th. Let me double check. Yes, the 19th of October, which is when I record, so I will draw a winner next Monday, and then I can get it off to you as soon as possible. So that's very exciting. Thank you again to Jen so much for donating this stitch marker pack, which is so wonderful. I am very excited to share the stitch marker and progress keeper love. It is truly a wonderful, wonderful life. So we have a lot of knitting to discuss, everyone. We have test knitting, we have knit-alongs, we have test knits that haven't been started yet but need to, and then we have the event of the year, in my opinion. It's the Stephen West mystery knit-along. We'll save that for the end just because spoilers and all that jazz. I am not, I would say I'm about halfway with clue 1. But apparently there's a bonus clue that came out today. I don't know. I haven't had time to look at my Ravelry yet, but I was looking on Instagram and everyone was like, there's a bonus clue, and I was like, what? What? So that's fun. I haven't looked at it yet, so I'm very excited to look at that sometime soon. Anyway, I've made progress on my Mabry test knit for Rachel of September Knits. This is a top-down yoked colorwork sweater. I finished the body, everybody. This is wonderful. Am I showing you? Yeah, this is the front. The body is done. I've made good progress with the sleeve. Just moving right along. I actually was able to get all of this done before the mystery knit-along started, which was really great. I was not expecting to do that, but I really just powered through. I just love this yarn so much. I am using Barocco Vintage DK in the Chana or Chana Doll colorway, and then the colorwork part is Malabriga Rios in the glitter colorway, and then I'm also holding Hedgehog Fibers Boucle with it to give it some texture. I think I might do something on the sleeves around the cuff maybe. I haven't yet decided, but that is a possibility. But the Barocco Vintage DK, just like, it is, I love the feeling of it. It knits up so well. It's got beautiful stitch definition. It's still really soft. This navy sweater that I've made is knit out of Barocco Vintage DK. It is very, very long wearing. It's very workhorse yarn-esque. It has, like, it's definitely pilled a little bit, and I don't really care because, I mean, it's a sign that I love my sweaters, and yeah, I just love my sweaters, and pills are a way to show that. But it, like, it really hasn't pilled all that much, and this is maybe a year old. I don't remember. I knit this as a class, and yeah, I just am very, very constantly pleased and surprised with how well the Barocco Vintage DK, I don't need to say the whole name, Vintage DK, knits up, and just also the regular vintage as well. So I would highly recommend you checking out that yarn. A lot of places have it, like Webb's and Jimmy Bean's, but before you check there, I would highly recommend like checking out your local yarn shop, or even yarn shops online that you would like to go to or have been before that may have it, and then that way you can support a yarn store. But if they don't happen to have your color or whatever, sorry, I need some tea, they do have it other places. Thanks to Google and the internet, you can figure that out pretty quickly. So I've made pretty good progress. This is needing to be worked on for sure, but I'm not worried at all. So just plugging along on the sleeve, having a mighty fine time. Glad that the body is done. Moving forward. And yes, this is a test knit for Rachel of September Knits. She has so many amazing and wonderful designs. She's also a wonderful human being who's so sweet. And yes, I have test knit for her before, and it's always been a wonderful experience. I would highly recommend going and checking out her other patterns. She's a wide variety, always fun. New designers to find out about. If you are new to the podcast, if you are a long-time viewer, you would already know about her based off of me talking about her and how wonderful she is. So that is coming out sometime in November, which is very exciting. So keep your eyes peeled for that, but I will also let you guys know when it comes out, so you can go grab yourself a copy. Moving along, that's the wrong bag. I don't want things to fall out of it. There we go. Moving along. That hasn't been cast on yet. Okay, so this technically hasn't really had a whole lot of exciting progress at all. Literally maybe 10 rows of garter stitch. But I'm still going to show it because I still want to talk about it, and it's still an active project of mine. So I don't want to let it fall by the wayside because I am distracted by Mystery Knit-alongs. And I want to finish this because I want to wear this because this is gorgeous and I love this pattern. This is the Moving Forward wrap by Denise Bayron of Bayron Handmaids. This is a shawl scarf thing, and it's got all these textures and different stitch patterns. It's also in a chevron-y shape. I am scrap-tasticking it, if you will, making all the fun color changes, using up all my stash. Just changing color whenever I see fit, where I want to, and using up as much yarn as I can to use up old little bits and pieces. Really enjoying it. It's very mindless. I will say that obviously, like, during the lace, I have to pay attention a little bit more, but it's not like I have to follow the pattern line by line. It's very simple and it's very doable if you are a beginner or something and you want a little bit bigger of a project that may take a little bit more time, and you're wanting to try out lace patterns and stuff and just reading more patterns in general. I would highly recommend this pattern. It's very well written. It's very straightforward. The pattern itself is not hard at all. And once you get the pattern repeat down, you just do that for several times. And then you're gonna have fun playing around with color. And that's always a fun time. Like, who doesn't love playing around with color? So last time I spoke, I was here, and I've only knit this month. But that's okay, because I've been busy. Things have happened. Mystery Knit-alongs have started. I have new test knits that need to be cast on. I I've been busy. Laundry's needed to be folded, of course. So this has not been really worked on all that much, but that's okay. I did finish the body of the sweater and I did start the sleeve, so there is that. And that has a more official deadline than this does for sure, because this is not a test knit. This is just a knit along. And it's more than halfway done at this point. I am very, very pleased with my progress, so I'm not worried about that at all. And I'm not, like, I know I'm not going to finish with everybody else. It's a knit along that Denise is hosting currently. I believe this might be week 5, the final week of this knit along. And that's okay. I knew that I probably wouldn't finish with everybody. I did a really good job of keeping up for the longest time. Up until like week 3, I think. I did very well. So I am very pleased with that. And I am definitely going to count that as a success, because I could have started it and just like totally ignored it. But I didn't. And here we are. I'm using stash and it's all good and it's all happy. And yeah, now it's time for some more tea. So let's move on. This is a test knit that I talked about last week that I have not cast on. I do have the pattern. I need to pull out some needles, but I have gone through the pattern. I've circled all my numbers. I'm ready to go. I had meant to cast it on last night, but just doing some self-care, you know. I was just taking my time. I was reading. I was just having a slow evening, and I wasn't like worrying about things that need to get done. So I'm glad that I did that. Am I sad I don't have a started project to show you? Yes, but self-care is important, and taking a slow evening is also important, and that is okay, and that is important. I've said important like 5 times, if not more, so we know it's important. So this is living in my Ginger Twist Studios bag, which is a wonderful yarn store in Edinburgh. If you are unaware, if you are nearby, local, or visiting, would highly recommend you go check it out. She is the sweetest person and has incredible hand-dyed yarns. It is a small little store, but so cute. It is packed full with yarn, but in the most beautiful way that you can see everything. It's just like, oh, I love this so much. Side note, this project I mentioned last week, I will be test knitting another sweater for Isabel, and this is going to be called the Forager Sweater. And let me show you a picture of it. It's kind of hard to see in this picture, but there are mock cables, which is always fun. I thought that they were actual cables. According to this picture, this is on her Instagram. You can kind of see the cables there. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see generally where they are. They are mocked cables, which I do enjoy. And yes, I am excited. I will be using the Ulysses from De Rerum Natura. I apologize if I did not say that correctly. I do know that this is French. So I am very excited about this. This was meant to be another sweater, but I am more excited. I would prefer to put this yarn towards a different sweater, which is something very interesting that I think would be important to talk about, while also talking about this yarn. Stash building is important for all knitters and crafters, really. It's like, it's fun. Building your stash can also help you be creative, I think. In my personal opinion, having a stash of any size, whether it be large or small, whether it be spread out over your living area or in one small place, it is still happy to have, because it could be motivating to you. It can be just very inspirational. You may see colors together that you may not have thought looked good before. It's just very fun to have a bunch of yarn or whatever you're crafting with together if you're able to have that. And yeah, it's just like, oh, it's inspirational. That being said, you can also find inspiration in a bazillion other ways that doesn't necessarily require yarn, and it doesn't require having tons of yarn. You don't need to have a bunch of yarn to be inspired to make and knit and crochet and craft beautiful things. So, what am I trying to say here? If you buy sweater quantities of yarn, or yarn for a shawl, yarn for socks, yarn for a hat, literally any yarn for a project in the moment, and you're like, oh, this is what I want to make, this is what I'm gonna buy this yarn for, and I'm so excited to make this sweater, and you don't make it right away because you're working on other things, and time goes on, and you're like, I still really like that sweater, but there's this other sweater that I really want to make, and this yarn that I had got originally for a different pattern will work perfectly for this other sweater that makes me even more excited about this new sweater. That's okay to switch up the patterns. Like, it's not, the yarn is not married to the pattern. You don't have to like keep them together for forever. Or shawls, like, you can play around, they can move around, unless, like, I always try to remind myself or think of when I'm looking at my stash of like what I can do with it in regards to patterns, and especially test knitting patterns that test knits. I said an extra word there. Patterns. I don't know. Especially when it comes to test knits. I ask myself, is the original pattern that I had picked out for this yarn, is it so amazing that it still makes me super excited and still brings me so much joy, and I really, really, really just want that item in this yarn? Like, would it be better in this pattern, or would it actually be better in this new pattern? Like, would that bring me more joy? That's the question that I ask myself. And I think that really helps. That has helped me kind of separate, or not separate, but just kind of like be a little more free with my stash, and just kind of know that things aren't set in stone. Things can be switched around. Things can go into different projects. I just have to like know and be aware of how much I actually do love something, and how much I would get joy out of something, or making something, or wearing something. If that is the priority, then I want to do that does that the most. And so that may require switching things around, and that's always fun. And then it's kind of like a new adventure, and then you have like if you're still in love with the original shawl or hat or sweater or whatever, then that gives you an opportunity to potentially find new yarn, or maybe give you a chance to find like just different yarns that you had not thought about before, that you had seen made up on Instagram or on Ravelry or wherever you had seen pictures of it, because like I always seem to find inspirational pictures of projects after the fact, after I get my yarn and after I am knitting it, and then it's like, oh, well, I kind of want to do it that way, but I'm doing it this way right now, but I really like that way. So now what do I do? Just enables you to have more brainstorming time, I guess, which is very exciting. So that is definitely the case with this yarn. This was originally going to be Birthday by Onkastrict, I believe, which was like a ribbed pullover, kind of like a sweatshirty type sweater. Beautiful, so snuggly. Still want to make it, but this yarn plus this new Isabel pattern together brings me the most joy. And that's why I've switched it up. It's not that I don't love the other pattern. Still do. Still want to make it. Just this goes to a different pattern. So this is very exciting. I I don't know if that made sense. Hopefully it makes sense. But that's kind of my thought process when it comes to my stash. And shifting and shuffling things around, shuffling things around, and yeah, just reassigning to get the most out of the yarn and the pattern, and we'll create something that I really, really, really love. And I think that's important to know how to do. So yes, this is going to be called Forager. This is a top-down sweater. There are mock cables. And yes, I'm very excited. This really needs to be cast on because this definitely also has a deadline. And this deadline is more official than the mystery knit along deadline. But we've been over this. We talked about this last week. It'll be okay. You know, it'll be fine. It'll get done. So next up, also, last week I talked about some sample knitting that is coming my way, which is very exciting. That got pushed back a little bit, which is very nice. And I do have the ability to talk about it and share it with you guys, which I'm very excited about. So whenever that shows up, you guys will know. There will be pictures, there'll be all that stuff, which is very exciting, but it is just not here yet, and that's totally okay because I have other things that I can work on that are very important to my heart and also officially with deadlines. You know, because that's how we describe, how we organize things in our minds. Things that are meaningful to my heart, and then the actual official things that have deadlines. That's how I write things down in my planner. I don't actually do that, but I think that's funny. So, everyone, have you cast on your mystery knit along yet? Because I have, and I am loving it. I actually had the wonderful, great enjoyment to watch the live that Stephen West did on Friday, early morning-ish. I think it was around 11:30. No, I think it was 11. And is that a bug? I don't know where that bug came from. I think it was a fly. That was very distracting. Yes, so I got to watch the live. We all cast on together all over the world. It was pretty amazing. He gave out some mystery knit along facts, that this is the 10th year, and just facts about other shawls that he's done in the past. I was very entertained, had fun casting on. It was a big cast on. It was a long I-cord, I should say that. Spoiler, there's an I-cord involved. Which, are we surprised? I mean, that's very typical of Stephen West in some shawls. So I did that, and that was super fun. And then, right afterwards, I got to watch the Great British Bake Off episode 3, Bread Week, with my mom and my sister, from a distance. My mom was at her house and my sister was in Dallas and I was here, and we watched it together while I worked on my mystery knit along. It was very wonderful. Can we, even with the Great British Bake Off, like, this is one of the things that 2020 needs, is more Great British Bake Off. And the pureness and the beautifulness that it is, and the most wonderful recipes and people. It is such a wonderful show. Would highly recommend. And I'm so glad that this is happened again, where we get the episodes slightly after they come out. Which is totally fine. I'm just very glad to be getting them at all, because sometimes we wouldn't get the current seasons until months, if not years later. So we can watch it along with the world. Very excited, loving it, and I can't wait for this coming week. Anyway, so let me show you my mystery knit along. I actually do not have all my balls of yarn in here, but I do have 3. This is living in my purple cat bag, which was made for me by Cassie of Big Sky Yarn Company. I did a giveaway with her earlier this year, and she sent me this bag that she made herself, and which is just so sweet of her. I love this bag so much. It is massive and holds so much yarn, which is why it's perfect for mystery knit-alongs. You know? So, everyone, if you don't want to be spoiled by Clue 1, I'm not done with Clue 1, but if you don't want to be spoiled by Clue 1, then look away. Don't look. Spoilers, spoilers. Okay, everyone, I'm getting ready to show it. I'm getting ready to show it. Spoilers. Don't look if you don't want to. If you want to be spoiled, more power to you. Or if you are not making it and you want to know what it looks, you've probably already seen pictures at this point. Unless you've been really good about avoiding spoilers, which can be hard to do sometimes. Okay, everyone. Here's my Slipstravaganza by Stephen West so far. We're doing some beautiful honeycombs right now that are striped in the middle. And I love the way this yarn smells. It just smells so good. So we are decreasing stitches, so we can see that I cast on down here. And we're slowly decreasing and casting off. My blue color is Relax It's Just Magic by Lambstring Yarn. It is a single, and then within the little honeycombs, it's kind of hard to tell with this lighting, but it is definitely striped. I'm using Stone by Hedgehog Fibers, and then I'm also using Rose Gold by Chelsea Luxe Yarns. I actually switched around my colors, the order of my colors, because he mentioned in the live, I believe, yeah, he mentioned in the live that color number 2 gets a really big fantastic moment at some point, and at the time, my color 3, the golden color, which I don't actually have with me, my golden color is probably my favorite out of all of them. And so I wanted to let that be the main star. If that has a big moment, I want that to be that color. So I switched the rose gold and the golden color. So yeah, I'm striping CC1 and CC3. And my main color. We're doing just fine, making some good progress. I'm getting used to the pattern. I have not done these honeycomb things before. It's kind of weird, but I've definitely gotten used to it, and now I'm having the time of my life. So yes, he did mention on the live that it would be good if we got the clue done by Sunday, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, the next clue comes out on Friday, so I don't know why we need to be rushing through this first clue. Little did I know that there would be a bonus clue today, everyone. That's new. A bonus clue. So yeah, I'm excited to do. Should I look at it now? No. No, I won't look at it now. That'd be too spoilery. I did see that he uploaded a video for it this morning, and I was very confused. I thought that he might have been like pre-uploading videos for the coming clues, and it was very confusing. But the bonus clue makes sense. So anyway, I'm just plugging along. I am more than halfway with clue 1, I think, at this point. And yeah, and because we are decreasing significantly, my rows are getting shorter, so that's nice. So it'll move faster, and I can move on to the bonus clue, and I probably will go and look at the bonus clue and read what it is, because I'm interested, as are we all. of what's gonna happen next. Should I watch the video first or should I read what's gonna happen? I think I should read what's gonna happen. I think so. But one thing that I did think was very funny about the live that he did, I think one of the themes or one of the phrases for this mystery knit along is "don't freak out," which I greatly appreciate. Having last week spoken about how I was worried I was gonna get all this knitting done and I had so many deadlines and just a lot going on, and then the motto happens to be "don't freak out," and it's like, yeah, you're right, don't freak out. It's totally okay. Don't freak out. It's fine. Also, I really appreciate that his patterns really push me to just do what he says. Because normally, especially, I feel like this year I've gotten really bad, or not bad, it's not a bad thing, it's just a fact. This year in particular, I feel like I've gotten way more experimental with my knitting in regards to following patterns, and I'm way more likely to just kind of change it up and make it how I want it to be. But specifically with sweaters though, not so much with a lot of other things, but mainly with sweaters. But with his patterns, because I know that they need to be a specific way, I need to trust what it says, even though it feels really weird and it looks really weird, and I'm very confused. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna message my friends who are also doing it and making sure that theirs looks the same. Am I doing this correctly? So I appreciate that. I think that pushes me creatively, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of mystery because it's a mystery knit along, you know. Also, one thing that I think is very fun, and I think this is very sweet. So I've been doing the mystery knit along for a while. Mystery knit alongs. I did the first one, and I'm pretty sure I finished it. I don't know where it is, but it definitely got finished. I've done almost all of them. Not all of them have gotten completed, but I have done most all of them, except for a handful. I didn't do Speckle and Pop, didn't do Exploration Station. Didn't do Rockefeller. Thought there was one more. I think it's just those 3 that I didn't even like pick out yarn to do. The rest of them I did, and I cast them on. Didn't finish them because I was a young knitter. My knitting life was not very expanded at that point, and here I am today. But so I have, like, my family knows that I get really into it. Sam knows I get really into this. My friends know I get really into this, especially the mystery knit along. And so it's really fun and sweet to have people who also get excited about this, even though they are not knitters at all. But they know that this is really exciting, and like I have been really excited about it to them, and just being like, this is a mystery. I don't know what it's gonna be, and it's just so exciting. And so then this year, and then like people are like, is it mystery knit along time? Is this so exciting? Do you know what are your colors? Have you gotten clue 1 yet? And it's like, I appreciate this so much. I know you're not a knitter, but I appreciate your enthusiasm because I am also so excited. So I love getting to share the excitement of the mystery knit along, even with non-knitters. I think that's really special, and also makes me very grateful for the friends and family that I have, and also Sam. So yes, mystery knit along time is a wonderful time of year. I've said this many times. I will continue to say it again and again and again. Maybe I should have it as a goal. Not in the immediate future, because that would be literally impossible. Maybe not literally impossible, but it would be pretty tricky to have knit all of the mystery knit-along shawls. Because, I mean, I would really love to make some of them now. Because when I had the yarn and was doing them before, I either was like really busy and like could not keep on top of it, or I didn't like the colors that I had. It was kind of a bummer. But again, I was a young knitter. I did not have the experience that I have now. But like that was a learning experience. Like I definitely learned from all those experiences. It's not. Excuse me. Don't know what that was. Even if I didn't complete the shawls, I still learned about those massive yarn overs. Like when I was doing the now I can't remember the name of it, but it's the weird triangular one. They're all triangular. No, they're not. They're not all triangular. Oh, I follow this, what is it called? Color Craving. I really wanted to make Color Craving. I remember casting that on when that Mystery Knit Along started and being like, what the poop is going on? These are too many yarn overs. This is so crazy. But I learned it. I learned how to do it. I was very confused. Not a fan at the time. But now I am a fan. You know? And now I've met him, I've knit more of his shawls, and I understand like my colors more, and just my love of it and all of it has grown. And so I'm really excited. So now I think it would be really fun to have the goal to have knit all of the Mystery Knit Along shawls over time. Because I think that would be really fun. Definitely good stash busting for sure. I think I would enjoy that. I have to think about it, you know. Maybe a goal for 2021. Instead of doing like a bazillion sweaters, which I'll probably end up doing anyway. You know, I could have the goal of knitting all the Mystery Knit Along shawls. Have to think about that. Fun things to plan. Anyway, that is all the knitting that I've had. That was kind of ranty-ravey for a while. I apologize if that was not interesting, but this is what this podcast is. It's like having a conversation, you know? It's very free-flowing. Not quite sure what I'm going to talk about, which is why I don't have notes. Anyway, I made ginger snap cookies last week, and they were wonderful. They're probably like one of my favorite fall treats. It's like fall and a cookie, and it's amazing, and I love them. And we have like 2 cookies left. And I think I made them on like Wednesday or Thursday. This week I plan on making regular cookies, you know, regular cookies, regular chocolate chip cookies, but instead of using chocolate chips, and probably chocolate chips as well, chopping up Reese's Pieces, which I had intended to use the actual Reese's Peanut Pieces that look like M&Ms, but are not, that have the Reese's filling in them. But I couldn't find them anywhere, so I couldn't use them. Which is fine. I'm just experimenting. It's really okay. So I have the Reese's Pieces cups that are wrapped individually, and then I'll have to unwrap them, and then I'm gonna chop them up and put them in the cookie dough. Just to have some fun, you know. I think that'll be exciting. Very exciting. And also kind of autumnally, because peanut butter is not necessarily a fall thing, but it's got the orange and the yellow and the brown and kind of Halloween-y a little bit. Anyway, so that is my baking adventures from last week and this coming week. I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to be making these new cookies. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. Excuse me. I don't know. I think it's almost 4. Yeah. Anyway, that is all that I have for you guys this week. I'm sorry that was kind of a weird end. Kind of abrupt, but we had a lot of knitting chat for sure. And we had cookie chat, mattress chatting. Also, very quickly, we haven't talked about the weather. I feel the need to talk about the weather. There is a very unfortunate time between spring and fall, or not spring, summer and fall, that is very challenging to deal with if you have any form of allergies. Mainly because you'll get really hot days and then you get cold days that are like in the high 70s, mid 70s. What? That's cold. Yes. And so then you have all this up and down, up and down, up and down, and then you have wind, extra wind, then you have random times of rain, plus the hot and the cold, the humidity, the not humidity, and then it's just like your allergies are like, I don't know what's going on. This is not fun. I don't like this. And that is this time right now. This time of year. And thankfully it hasn't been too bad. But I know that it's just gonna get worse. And hopefully this coming Friday we'll get Clue 2. That doesn't have to do with the weather, but this Friday, Clue 2 is for sure happening, but hopefully this Friday there's a cold front coming. Lows in the mid 50s, what? Which I know that's like warm for some people. That's freezing. I know not literally freezing, but the highs are in the mid 70s, mid to low 70s. I'm so excited. I just hope it happens, because sometimes it's forecasted and then it disappears, you know? And that's very disappointing. But anyway, hopefully, I don't know why I'm checking the weather right now, but yeah, Friday, high of 74, low of 52. That's cold. But yeah, I'm tired of these like 91, 86, 91, 74. 81, 79. It's like, can we be more consistent with the weather? Because my allergies are not appreciating it at all. It's not fun. Don't appreciate it. Anyway, we can be happy about so much. All the wonderful knitting that is going on, all the mystery knit along, the worldwide knit along that is happening right now, which is just incredible and wonderful to be a part of, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. It's just so exciting, makes me so happy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate you sticking around with all the various changes of angles and views, whatever, dealing with the fact that there's a mattress right here. My rants, my raves, my monologues, my misspeaking, which happens, and then I create new words like shuffling. Yeah. Shifting and shuffling. Who would have thought? Anyway, I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. If you are trying to keep up with the mystery knit along clues, I wish you all the success in the world. If you are also trying to do that while also trying to keep up with other projects and deadlines and other things and just life in general, more power to you. I'm right there with you. We got this. It'll be fine. Don't freak out, you know? Hashtag don't freak out. Yeah, there's just a lot of fun stuff going on, knitting wise. Lots of things bouncing around in my head, knitting wise, that I just don't have time to do right now, unfortunately. But that's okay. That's why we write things down, and then we can go back to them later we can remember when we do have time, right? That's why we have knitting and crafting notebooks, or you keep things on your phone or written on your computer. It's very important, I think, you know. Anyway, that's just a whole other conversation. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me just rant and ramble. I've said this once, I'll say it again. Social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Ravelry. There's also Goodreads, there's Pinterest. Pinterest doesn't really do anything, I just save random things. But Goodreads and Instagram, I think, are important if you want to keep up with my reading that is going on throughout the month of October. Excuse me. So that is exciting. Show notes, giveaway stuff. If you have any questions about the giveaway, please feel free to send me a message. Remember, you must follow Jen. You must be subscribing to this channel. You also must leave a comment on episode 179, what your favorite fall activity is, and 1 entry per person. It closes on the 19th. Happy days, happy days. And yeah, and just if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message and I would be very happy to help. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope that you have all the success in the world with all your knitting and crafting endeavors, crocheting, quilting. Ooh, I'm quilting now. That's very exciting. And with that, I will see you guys next week with Mystery and Along stuff, and hopefully a cast on test knit. Bye.